They didn't know what to do in the second half because they'd never been there. I'm going to give Cleveland a total. New England, Kansas City, good Steelers go in big at half. They kind of know what to do. I'm going to give Cleveland a pass. They didn't know what to do. They've never been there before. And I got to say this, biggest win in Baker Mayfield's career, that goes without saying. But I want to say this, and let's add context. When you have the number one quarterback on a rookie contract, you should be winning. Russell Wilson got to 2 Super Bowls. Goff got to 1. Mahomes got to 1. Flacco and Cam got to 1. Because when you have a rookie, a top young quarterback, you're not paying him anything for 3 to 4 years. So you can go get free agents. What did the Browns did? They went and got a right tackle, Jack Conklin, elite right tackle. They couldn't afford that if they're paying Baker 30. They want to get Jarvis Landry's expensive. Austin Hooper. So when you could, this is what the Rams did with Goff. It's what the Chiefs can do with Mahomes before the contract. It's what you can do. If you've got a quarterback, you can load up. Right now, the Browns' offensive line, now this was before the game, was rated as a top 2 pass blocking line and a top 2 run blocking line. You can do that when you're not paying the quarterback anything. But the question has always been, we know Goff is mature. He's real quiet. We know Mahomes is. We know Russell is. Like, we know those guys are mature. The question is, when you have that young quarterback and he gets all that talent, he'll never have that much talent offensively the rest of his career because they're paying Baker nothing and Goff was getting paid nothing and Mahomes getting paid nothing and Russell nothing. Can you steer the ship? We know you're not experienced. We know you're young. We know you'll make mistakes. But are you mature enough and steady enough to just kind of move the luxury liner down the river? And I never thought Baker was. I mean, I picked the Browns to make the playoffs, but I never thought I'd see yesterday. That's what Goff looked like. First couple of years, they'd have these games where, like, man, Rams got a lot of weapons. Mahomes got a lot of weapons. Mahomes is not going to have this many weapons in 2 years. He's not. They're not going to be able to keep everybody. You can't pay your quarterback $45 million. So this was a really nice moment for Baker. We've always known the ups and downs of Baker. But these are the moments when you get that franchise quarterback and you can go big into free agency at tight end and wide receiver and right tackle, and you can really spend some money on it. Is he just stable and mature enough to guide all this talent down the river? Just guide it to wins. And yesterday was the first time I watched Baker, and I thought, oh, he could win a playoff game. Baker could win a playoff game. It's been rocky to get there. A lot of stuff I didn't like. First time I watched him, I thought Baker Mayfield could win a playoff game. And I'm going to give him a pass for the second half because they've never led anybody 38-7 at half, and they didn't know what the hell to do. They had no idea what to do. Do we just run it? Do we pretend like we're in a close game? But that was impressive, and Baker Mayfield talked after.
What's different about you now as opposed to a month ago, last year, whatever? Is it something looks different? What's different?
Whenever I'm about to do something, I think, would an idiot do that? And if they would, then I don't do that.
Good answer from the office. Now, what is the next step? And this is going to be even harder for Baker and Cleveland because, they're feeling themselves today. Next month, you play Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and the Giants. Those defenses are good. And you can't shoot any more TV commercials. Can't go out late at night. Got to wear a mask. Got to be smart. Can't be cocky. Baker proved I can go on the road and win a big game. I can guide this ship like Goff did, Mahomes did, Russell Wilson did. But the difference, because of those 3 players' temperaments, that win wouldn't unravel them. Trent Dilfer has a great saying. He goes, you got to learn how to win in this league. Everybody loses the same. They're pissed, and they work really hard. He goes, not everybody wins the same in this league. Some guys win, they buy a new this, they buy a new that, they shoot a new commercial. So step 1's been accomplished. You can win a playoff game with Baker. Step 2 is, let's work twice as hard for Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and the Giants, because those are way better defenses than the Titans. That's the next step. That's what Mahomes did. That's what Goff did. That's what Russell Wilson did. Oh, win. Impressive. And Baker deserves credit for that. But they went to bed early, studied twice as hard. We're great the next week. Can Baker do that? We'll see. Hopeful. Not rooting against them. Don't root against good quarterback. I never root against young quarterbacks. This league is awful with bad quarterback play. I said before, I watched Baker a ton the first 2 years. When he started going downhill, I stopped watching and stopped talking about him. He wasn't as interesting. He just wasn't as good. If this is what I get from Baker, interesting, good, can win playoff games. Now let's just do it again and again and again and again, because now this is the second stage of it. You won, you shut people up, now work twice as hard this week. All right, coming up next, what to make of the Giants with a backup quarterback beating Seattle. What does it say? And we'll talk about that coming up. The holidays, as you know, are often the busiest time of the year on the road. Summer, the road, when I drive to work in the summer, it's always less traffic. People go on vacation, people take more Fridays off, but this time of the year, everybody's on the road. And nobody wants to get in a plane, so everybody's driving. And if your car breaks down, it is a nightmare. Because you step outside the pavement right now, it's cold, it's windy, it's awful. This is CarShield, carshield.com, code HERD, 10% off. Customizable plans when your warranty runs out. You can always pick the mechanic. Roadside assistance, 365 days a year, 24/7 if your car breaks down. Roadside assistance. Over 1 million people use CarShield, America's #1 auto protection provider. You pick the mechanic, home, road, wherever you're at. They'll take care of the rest. Just don't freak out if your car breaks down. Have CarShield. CarShield.com, the code is HERD. Or call 800-665-2157. Same code, 8. And however you may be listening, we're on Fox Sports Radio, iHeartRadio, and FS1. 1 hour from now, where Colin was right, where Colin was wrong. Plenty of both. Joy Taylor is joining me. Vibrant today, dynamic. 2 Monday Night Football games tonight. Good week of Blazing 5. Feeling in a very robust mood today.
2 Monday Night Football games tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big fight this weekend.
Wow.
Big fight news they were just talking about, which we'll get to later.
Well, let's start with this. 2020's been a heck of a year, right? And I get in discussions with my kids all the time. I said, listen, it's given us a recession. It's given us a pandemic. This has been a rough year. But yet in this rough year, many people, companies, families have actually flourished. Oh, they have. Everybody, when you don't have any speed bumps and curves in your life, it's much easier. But can you adapt to trouble? Adapt to a life that's different? I saw something yesterday that was, I'm going to lead my show with it. The Patriots beat the Chargers 45-0. It was not a good game to watch, but I'm going to lead with it. So 45-0. Does the talent between the Patriots and Chargers say 45-0? No. That's like Alabama against the Sun Belt Conference team. The Kansas City Chiefs would not beat the Jets 45-0. Let's just marvel at Bill Belichick, what he has done in 2020. The best quarterback ever leaves. 8 players opt out for COVID. He loses a top assistant. They have multiple defensive starters leave for free agency. He has no stars at wide receiver or tight end. Cam Newton appears to be shot, and they have to completely change their offensive game to a power running game. Oh, wait, there's no preseason. And this morning, they're 6-6 and 2 plays away from being 8-4. If Cam doesn't get stopped at the goal line against Seattle, and it was really close, and if they don't fumble against Buffalo, they're 8-4. How in the hell is that possible? Cam Newton yesterday threw for 69 yards. And they won 45-0. Okay, if you'd have told me, so Cam Newton threw for 69 yards and the Patriots beat the Chargers, I'd be like 9-6, 17-14. No. It was 45-0. Could any other coach win games with what he's been handed with? Philadelphia lost a coordinator, a play caller, Frank Reich. They're a disaster. Atlanta lost Kyle Shanahan. They're a dumpster fire on half the Sundays. Does everybody understand what you're watching here? You can really judge somebody by what happens when things go south and how you adjust. Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season in 14 years. He almost made the playoffs with a quarterback named Duck. He's had drama. He's had injuries. He's had AB. He's had Le'Veon Bell out. They've had Big Ben got hurt. 14 years. Never had a losing team in Pittsburgh. That's a coach. Sean Payton, back-to-back years, lost a Hall of Famer. Drew Brees, how'd he do? 8-0 with like 5 blowouts. What? Yeah, Taysom Hill, the T-Boat guy? Yeah. He can throw now. What? I mean, now, there are a handful of coaches in this league that have completely separated. Think about this. In the last 2 years, Belichick has lost Brian Flores, who appears to be great, and Joe Judge, and I was wrong on this, wow, can that dude coach? He lost both off of staff, and they're a play from being 7-5. I mean, my eyes tell me Cam is kind of shot. But he has 5 touchdowns and 9 picks. He's got more wins starting this year, 6, than he has touchdown passes. They have nobody to throw to, and they won 45-0. Belichick took a guy yesterday named Gunnar Olszewski and got him 2 touchdowns. He sounds like a 1968 hockey player with no teeth. Gunnar Olszewski